Aren't you sick and tired of hearing people complain about how their army doesn't have what your army has? Or vice versa, you're the one actually complaining about what you don't have versus their army? Well, today on OCS, episode 33, we're going to talk about just that and how people keep on comparing 40K armies just like this. Stay tuned and locked in. What's going on, brother?
What's up, everyone?
All right, man. How you been, man? How was your week? How's everything going? How's work? How's life? How's 40K?
It's going good, I'm getting excited. As you know, I'm starting a new season of my 40K career, picking up a new army. So got a little downtime for Crucible, so I figured I'd, enjoy it. Hobby a little, as the kids say.
Me and you both, brother. I'm trying to get all of my Corn Demonkin all set up for a potential event, or event I'm actually going to be at in July, and potentially things before that. So I'm trying to get it at least assembled, primed up, so I can actually throw it on the tabletop, man. I'm excited, super excited. Can't wait till the book drops, the MFM, so we get all of our points. And other than that, life has been good, man. How's everybody doing in life? How's everything? How's 40K?
I can't wait for Corn Demons to become like AdMech, just super cheap, and there's like just 30 units. It's just 6 battle line and 3 of every unit, and every character is gonna be great.
Yeah, I can't wait to that day either, man. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome, really, to see everything go through transition as well, where we're having demons in our chaos, deity books. So it's really nice to see that. Really nice too. Also, fun fact for team events, it does not interrupt. It doesn't affect you if you take it in your codex. You can also take Shadow Legions as well.
Double Scarbrand on teams, everyone. That's what he just said. You have Scarbrand and World Leaders and Scarbrand and Demons. I just want to be clear. That's what everyone just heard, so you all know. 2 Scarbrands per team, because no other demon matters right now.
No other demon matters, really.
You're not going to see double Rodriguez, and Thousands don't have a book yet. Those nerds are still waiting.
Yeah, so Anime Squirrel talking about the Night Codex. Go ahead, Thomas. My bad.
Oh, I was going to say Slanesh is still in chastity, so she doesn't even exist. She got the AOS treatment. She got written out of the story.
Dude, so ran an event over the weekend, right? Thank you to everyone who came out to Onslaught 2K. For those of you who don't know, right, Tampa, Florida, I run an event called Onslaught 2K. But individuals were there, and nobody ran Emperor's Children on legal day. I was like, what's going on, man?
Hobby lag. It's hobby lag because it's hobby lag. People got to get the flawless blades built up, and they're the new Noise Marines, the Noise Marine character, the Blastmaster. It's the same thing with the Orcs. Remember, Orcs got the 2 new detachments, and they saw no results for like a week or 2, and then all of a sudden it was 70% win rates all the way down.
True indeed. Well, it's the same thing I'm going through right now, right? I've had World Eaters forever, but I've never had demons, right? So now I got to collect all the Corn demons to flesh out my collection to make sure I have everything Corn related now.
I'm just saying, I had Scarbrand, 3 Bloodthirsters, and 15 Hounds like 3 months ago.
Sorry, I'm not as privy to information as you are, sir.
No priviness. I just wanted big monster go smash. 300 monsters, other than Old One Eye, do in fact not smash in melee. So I just let's just do that.
Which is a good segue where we're going to talk about today, right? So there are armies out there, a lot of people who love to compare. I go to all of these events where I actually participate at, and people are always comparing 40K armies, right? They're always saying, oh, why is my Forge Fiend 180 points and your Forge Fiend is 150 points? And I don't have that in my codex. Why can't I get what you get? Well, 40K is designed for army factions are really developed in a vacuum nowadays, right? they make these armies to reflect all of the abilities that they have in the codex itself. It's not making a comparison to what Slaanesh might have, right? I mean, they do in a pseudo way where, Flawless Blade is like the equivalent to 8-bound of World Eaters, but they don't fight the same. They're two different units, right?
Right.
And obviously, one is price pointed at one price in their book, and in our book, in the World Eaters book, it's a lot more. It costs a lot more points, right? Is that fair to assess it the way that it's being assessed, where it should be the same points cost? Some people would say, hey, yeah, it's fair. I don't like it. I want to live my life, just complaining about whatever I need to complain about it, because I don't have that particular ability, or I don't have that price point, or my miniature, right? But you got to remember, like I said, they're all priced accordingly to their codexes and created in a vacuum.
Yep. No, I go through this a lot with, personally, like, you guys if anyone's ever looked at Tyrannid, Broodlord, and Gene Stealers, and Gene Stealer Cult, Patriarch, and Gene Stealers, is it certainly a trip? For context, Gene Stealer Cult, the Broodlords have the same leader ability. They give dev wounds to Gene Stealers.
Yep.
Gene Stealer Cult, Gene Stealer, and Broodlords have infiltrate. They just start in the middle of the board. Tyrannid, Broodlord, and Gene Stealers, Scout 8. GSC Gene Stealers can always advance and charge. They don't need a detachment or a stratagem for that. Tyrannid Gene Stealers reroll 1s to hit, hitting on 2s all the time, and reroll 1s to wound if you're fighting on an objective. Same exact price point across the board. You play them two totally different ways. And they work for the different codex, because if Tyranids had always on advance and charge Gene Stealers, and Gene Stealer Cult had Scout and reroll hits and wounds Gene Stealers, it would be disgusting. And they're the same unit. Like that's a close comparison. That's not Flawless Blades and 8-bound or Blight Lord Terminator. That's like as close to a 1-to-1 as you can get.
Yep.
And there's other things like to Anime Squirrel's point. Complaining about Warhammer is a key part of this hobby. I'm not innocent of it. But there is a certain point, like you said, we got to realize it's in a vacuum. Like it's and not just a vacuum, it's in like a finite vacuum of its own codex, its own rules it has access to. For example, on the point of the Flawless Blades versus the 8-bound, some of the detachments that the Flawless Blades can go into and the buffs you can give them would absolutely be insane on 8-bound units. The one detachment where you get you dedicate points of enemy units you'll kill, and you get buffs as you get those points.
Yep.
8-bound would live for that chart.
Love it.
As well as the army rule of Emperor's Children, which is fall back and charge, advance and charge, as long as it's to a new target. I'll tell you right now, playing Index World Eaters a lot of my friends own them apparently, you don't want 8-bound who can advance and charge all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you could get something in return, other abilities, right? Stacking, sustains, lethals, dev wounds, things like that.
Rerolls.
Really strong. Imagine giving that to Space Marines or another army, like Slaanesh, giving them fight first and batter or something like that. Right? It'd be crazy. Or Oath of the Moment for Tyranids. How crazy would that be?
Not Tyranids. Tau.
There we go.
Imagine battlesuits rerolling all hits without needing to be guided or anything, and getting +1 to wound against that target. just because you picked it. Tau would go from 38% win rate to 70 with that alone. It would be an insane. Oh, and then just because we're talking about it, Shadow Sun means you can, Oath of the Moment 2 things because she's on the battlefield. Why not?
Yep.
So yeah, whereas on Space Marines, not Ultramarines, because I'm never going to say that's okay, but on most Space Marines, it's fine. If someone oaths one unit of mine, it died with or without the +1 wound most times. So
I get it. Everybody's gonna have a special pony, right? Everybody's gonna have that unicorn in their army.
This is my soapbox. I'm going to stand on it.
I totally understand, but people have to realize it's all in the vacuum. It's created points wise, design wise, ability wise, all in one location. Let's
talk something fairly relevant. And what I assume is the inspiration for this show. I don't know. I'm just invited on. The Deathrail Terminators versus Exalted A-Bound. The like elite units of each army, right?
Yeah.
People are comparing one to the other and being like, wow, this is night and day, blah, 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 blah. I would like to remind everyone, we don't have official points yet. So, until the Minotaur and Field Manual comes out, how good they are is honestly up for debate. Because if Blight Lords come out and it's 200 for 3 and 400 for 6, you're going to see one squad with a character, maybe, and some, not even all armies, just some armies. Right. And Exalted A-Bound, if they go from, 330, 340 for 6 down to like 270, 250 for 6, maybe a squad of 3 isn't bad now. Because they're still tough, they're still durable, and they're still anti-monster vehicle, 3+, you can give them sustained and lethal.
Yep.
So, like,
you can't... Angron better be 300.
Angron and Mortarion. Perfect.
Mortarion is 300 actually. 300. 300 is it? 400.
I think he's 380 in the back of the book right now.
Something like that, yeah. 300 or 400.
He's 300 right now in the Index Guard, Death Guard that's legal. The Codex has him at 380. Minotaur and Field Manual, we'll see. My prediction, he's going to be 425, 450, close to Magnus or Salaxi. Because
380 is ridiculous.
Yeah. But, again, if he goes to 450 like Magnus and Angron goes down to 300 where Fulgrim was, that's 150% more. Sure, he's better, but he's an Angron and a half at that point.
Yeah.
So that's just my 2 cents is, I like to have a full holistic picture before I start, doomsaying. Like, as Anime also pointed out, excited for the Knights Codex. There's Knights leaks all over the place. Some of them I'm sure are made up. Some of them have a grain of truth with lies on in, so someone leaking stuff doesn't get caught. But the prevalent one I've seen is Armigers going to T9. We don't know. This is all speculation people are throwing around on Reddit and YouTube. I want to be very clear. But I'm like, all right, let's say Armigers are T9. Fine. That's a debuff off the cuff. Let's also say, what we're not hearing is that Armigers also do 30% more damage apiece. They stay the same price, they're a little easier to kill, but they're more consistent with their damage.
Yep.
Maybe that's fine. Maybe, 6 to 9 Armigers who can credibly, 2 of them take something down. Okay. Good. They should be a little less durable then. You don't want that for 5 turns as an opponent. That's going to suck.
And it feels like in creation of new codexes too, it feels like that's the route that they're going to, right?
Yeah.
So, real nice. Fair trade. Yeah, everything is getting like weaker. Nothing's getting super special like Feel No Pains, not even Death Guard. They went up in toughness. Is hard, statistically by dice is harder, but they don't get these extra additional dice to prevent you from murdering them, right?
Death Guard specifically got easier because their main army rule is now one of the 3 options is -1 to hit, not ballistic skill.
Yeah.
But that is much easier to overcome. And also, specifically, Deathrail Terminators are no longer -1 to wound if strength is higher while being led. They got rid of that and traded it for +1 wound, so they're now 4 wounds, +1 toughness, and 4 wounds apiece. So, as a whole, they're a little tougher, but like actually getting into them is easier as far as wounding and doing damage.
Yep.
They can just take a little more than they could before.
Yeah, they're not going to be super resilient. They're not going to be that D1 that you take on a teams, right? Like it used to be before, where you just sit on a place.
Yep.
You live there, and you're just this irremovable object, right? Now you still have a lot of resiliency, but people still have some play against you, which is really nice.
What up, Nick? I was telling Anime earlier that the Tau matchup, because he played Tau. He went to your 2K event this past weekend. And he played against Death Guard, and Death Guard's -1 ballistic skill on top of the guiding mechanic just wrecks Tau. But now that it's -1 to hit, and very notably, Riptides ignore all modifiers to the hit roll that they can choose to. I think Tower are going to be great in the Death Guard all of a sudden, because now the Riptides are not -1 to hit, and they're not -1 to wound against the Blight Lords.
Which is really nice.
And so their plasma, the plasma guns are flat 4 damage, so AP like 4. So guess how many wounds Blight Lords have, or not Blight Lords, Death Shroud have? This many. So
Tyrone for the 5th float.
Yeah, no, and that, like, there's other armies too. Like when Slaanesh got nerfed, you know, people were comparing Slaanesh now to like other armies and what it could do and couldn't do, and it just, you got to take the bag you have and go, man. Like me personally, I like to just, where am I actually? Sorry, Nick makes a very good point. I'll let you handle this.
Guys, I never thought I'd say it, but World Eaters, yeah, they're really good, man. I mean, you know, if you're running Demonkin, you're taking Scarbrand, you're taking 2 to 3 Forge Fiends. Forge Fiends are amazing, 150 points. So, in a very good position. And Index, too, is really good. So, I'm excited. Crack yours out. Put them on the tabletop. Hopefully.
I'm so sorry. I know I told you before the show, but I just, who thought the rule, the full rerolls to hit against closest eligible target was good when the Overwatch stratagem is right there? That is the dumbest interaction of this game I think I've ever seen. Is, I'm going to Overwatch you. Well, this unit's closer. I'm not eligible to shoot them. Sorry. Blam.
Yep. Forge Fiends got a big glow up, man. Hopefully they don't get touched either, because like we're talking about them being created in the vacuum, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. You still with us, brother? I think we lost Mr. Reigel, everyone. I don't know. Or maybe I'm lost in space right now. Anyways, yeah, World Leaders are in a really good position. Hopefully, Slaanesh continues to appear. Let's see what Slaanesh is doing. I haven't seen much of the Emperor's Children out currently. You're back with us, brother? There you go. I see some movement now.
Yeah, I don't know what though. Chariots came back to the index, so Slaanesh might actually legitimately be on tables, because Chariots are, not only did they come back, they got buffed. You can go look yourself, but various Chariots got various durability, offensive, and ability buffs across them. So you may actually see them both in Demons and in Emperor's Children.
That's a very funny one, right? Because they took it away, and then everybody was losing their minds. And they were like, nah, psych, here you go. We just wanted to rework them real quick. And brought them back. And now everyone's buying them. Yeah, they have brand new rules. I saw that, brother.
There's nice. Slaanesh was my second army. I'm notorious with rebound armies. I had Necrons, I had Slaanesh. Now I'm going to get GSC, and I'm going to end up back with the bugs. I just, you know, I need other sensations, if you will, to you know, keep the motivation going.
Yeah, no, it's true, man. It's true. But, you gotta jump to different armies and see. You know what? That's a great point you bring up, right? I think that a lot of the issues, usually when people have complaints about why an army has something different than their other armies, potentially they don't have multiple armies. Potentially these are the individuals that are just playing World Eaters as an example all the time, right? And then they don't see how other armies are ran or how they actually play. Yep. And I think that that's a big inhibitor when it comes to that, because you really don't understand it. Me playing multiple armies, you playing multiple armies, right? And just talking about that, very relevant to our topic today, how we're talking about how people are comparing things. And I think that's the biggest issue. Just like real life, right? People don't like new things. They don't like it, and that's part of the comparison. It's something new to them. Why do you have this janky rule that I don't have, right? But if you've played that army before, you've used it before, it's really not an issue at that point unless it's extra broken, right? Like things like more DACA. People were telling me, hey, I'm just flat out not going to run this army because I know it's going to get nerfed, first of all. Second off, I know it's completely broken and it ain't worth me, just really downing my reputation.
Buying 30 Ludas just to play them for 2 months.
And being that guy, right? They don't want to be that guy, right? In the community. So, exactly. Buying 30 Ludas. But, G-Dubs got their money for it.
I will say.
Indeed. It is, Nick. It is. So you could develop different skills as well. And then you understand both types of armies, right? And different types. So
that is something that I've talked at length about Tyranids that I love is they are a do everything, but they're the best at nothing army. Like the very first episode I did with you, I talked about my experience with Slaanesh and how a lot of what I did with them, it wasn't even what Slaanesh armies could do. It's what movement tricks I learned in combat phase manipulation through playing Tyranids. Now I'm going to GSC, and GSC has much more shooting than Tyranids do. Flamers, las cannons. I'm learning the grenade stratagem for the first time ever. I've never used it myself. So I'm learning all the stipulations around that.
That's 100% true. You know how many people I run into say the same thing? I've never used a grenade. I'm like, what?
Yeah. No, and it's great. I tell people that I have, minimal shooting, then I say I have 3 exocrines, and they just look at me like I lied to them.
A lot of armies don't have grenades, though.
No, Necrons, I think, have 1 unit, maybe. Demons have 0, and Tyranids have 0. And the 3 armies I've played are Tyranids, Necrons, and Demons, so...
Go figure, right? You've never touched grenades.
Hot take, I think there should be at least 1 knight that has the option to use a grenade strat. I think it'd be funny.
What's that? What did Nick say?
Everything thinks it's a shoot. Yes, no, that is. I say 3 exocrines, and then they forget about the 30 gene stealers coming at them.
Yeah. Yep. Well, now they got to worry about world eaters, right? Shooting.
Dude, that is the funny. I was talking with a buddy of ours, Brian. He plays Corn Demons right now. He's transitioning to world eaters, and I'm like, yeah, man. Every time I make a plan to go into like new world eaters, I gotta remember Forge Fiends. But luckily, don't worry, guys. Your boy has a plan like I always do. It's gonna shock a lot of you, but it's called Lictors. Just don't shoot me.
Loan out, baby. Stay away.
And if you want to come fight me, I get to fight first. So go ahead. I'll take a guy or 2 with me. I don't care. But yeah, no, Nick, yeah, it is true to play either multifaceted armies or armies that expose you to different or force you to play different ways. Even if it's not your play style, the way you enjoy the game, having the info of how it works, like, for example, my pod of people I played with learning the hobby were 3 people who played shooting armies. It was a prominent Knights player, anime on 8th edition Tau, which is Triptide, 3 commanders, and 45 drones. And then another friend of ours who played Guard. And I was running melee Tyranids, 80 Gene Stealers, Swarm Lord, and some Gaunts, and that was it.
Yeah.
I got real okay. I did not get good in 8th edition. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I got real okay at movement in fight phase jank. They got real good at shooting the shit out of me for 3 hours straight.
Yep. That's how it works.
Yes, and that is, I agree, Nick. The best armies do play both phases very well. That's part of why Ynnari is so good, aside from their little end of the move phase soul burst thing, strength from the great, strength from death or whatever. They can lay down precision melee, and their shooting is still just Eldar shooting. It's gross. Same with, like you said, Mordaka. Mordaka was primarily a shooting army, but like, it's still orcs on the water and hitting you in melee.
Absolutely. I had to tell somebody at an event that I was like, dude, it's still orcs fighting.
Like every Mordaka list I saw still had like 2 to 3 beast bosses just chilling in there.
Yeah.
Like we'll come to you. We don't care. Space Marines, Ultramarines are a great example. They are like an 80-ish% shooting army, but the melee they have will just wreck your day. And even Blood Angels, like, Blood Angels take Gladiator Lancers now because same thing. They take it and they just tell someone, look, we'll charge you. We're going to stage, and if you come out to stop us, we're going to shoot you. It's a pretty simple proposition.
Yep.
And even, ironically, Tau have the Kroot Rampagers. Same thing. As a prominent heroic intervention threat, or charge if something survives shooting more than the Tau player wanted them to, and then just charge mortals plus relatively threatening melee to most things is like, all right. And even without that, I've talked to anime about tank shock from Riptides or Hammerheads. It's like, it's not traditional melee, but it's an extra, facet of damage to use.
Yep.
I can honestly say, Nick, I've never been hit by Calgar because I've always precisioned him out first, even through the 4-up Feel No Pain. I don't want to deal with him. I've never had to deal with him hitting me because I've just killed him first.
And guess who precisions now very, very well in Demonkin, Nick? The Mo. with the bloodshed, the endless bloodshed blade, or blade of endless bloodshed.
Mini carnivores 1v1. No. You're thinking too small. He has a 4-up Feel No Pain. Just throw Scarbrand and Epic Challenge him. Take flat 6 save after flat 6 save. But charging with my Riptide. Yeah, no, it's another thing about comparing different stuff, and this is a lesson I had to learn the hard way, and I actually learned from playing games with General Slaughter over here. He actually taught me. I don't know if he realizes it, but it'll be familiar when I say it. Yes, correct, Nick. Yeah, he would.
38 damage, goddamn.
Fun little antidote. The first time Brian ever played Lewis over here, he threw Scarbrand at something. I don't know what. But Lewis failed a couple saves, and he's like, how much damage? And Brian just like 18. And Lewis like, what? He's like, yeah, it's flat 6. It was like, no, just 6.
I did. Like, what?
It is still just 6 for those of you wondering.
It is.
But no, a lesson I had to learn was, if you're only looking at what other armies have that you don't, it's very easy to miss what you have that other armies can't replicate or benefit from if they have the unit that you're, jealous of or they're jealous of. For example, running 4 lictors in a list. Shit's magical, guys. I cannot tell you enough.
Exactly.
So they are insane. They are not broken, but their utility is only bound by your imagination. They're so good. And yeah, other armies are like, they have lone ops. All of Imperium has the assassins. Various specific armies have their own lone ops. Demons, Khorne doesn't, but both Slanesh and Tzeentch have 3 lone ops between them: Blue Scribes, Changeling, and the Mask. But yeah, it's so like Riptides. Because I keep going to Tau because I've been talking a lot of Tau with my roommate lately. Riptides are fantastic. Like every Tau list that I personally would play, I'd throw Riptides in first. Like 3 Riptides in the list, because just never having to give up. It's the Nemesis Dread Knight thing. You just never lose efficiency. You can fly, you can fall back and shoot, you can shoot without any minuses and all the bonuses you choose to keep. 2-up, 4-up on a T10 or T9 body. Super good. Like, it's just
they're really good. When I think of Tau, I think of Riptides. Taking Riptides every single time.
Yeah, Riptide.
What's the other one that's like a Riptide? It's the different variant of the same suit.
They're all Riptides only suit. You mean the Ghost Kill though?
Ghost Kill.
Look, so, all one of our Tau fans are going to get mad if you disparage the Tau models. Okay.
Ghost Kill. That's the one where you could just blanket damage. I believe. Yeah, I watch anime do that.
They have 2 drones. You can blank damage twice.
Wow. Yeah. See, I like the Ghost Kill, but I think they're not as efficient as shooting, right? It's Riptides.
No, what's funny is if you throw Scarbrand into a Ghost Kill, it has like a 40% chance of living.
I know.
Scarbrand hits on 2s. Okay, no rerolls. He misses 1. Wounds on 3s. I think 2s or 3s. He drops another one, then 4-up save, and it's like, oh, or 4 go through, and I blank 2 of them, and it's like, if you drop one more than average, I live.
Yep.
It's really funny. Those are also Anime's favorite models in the Tau lineup.
Yep.
But and Tau are a great example.
Yeah.
Because Tau don't have melee. That's a famous thing that they have. Even with the Rampagers, they have very minimal melee, and so they're not a combined arms army. They are a movement and a shooting army, and their melee is stitched together on the back of Charge Mortals and the Rampagers and Tank Shock. So, but they are, I don't want to say so very good at shooting because they're not anymore a premier shooting army in the game, but they're very good at killing one or two things they want dead. They're very good at aligning and saying, so I would say Tau, the skill that the army teaches you is target priority.
They do.
Is movement, positioning, and target priority of what to take out and with what resources you have. And Anime, he's going from Tau. He plays Knights a little bit. He dabbles, and he plays his Knights now, and it's a lot of the same. It's high value shooting and low quantity models of units. So it's a very similar skill set from Tau over to Knights, except massive Chain Blade and Canis Rex melee, Fist of Freedom. So it's I have 6 strength, 20 attacks with sustained hits on 5s. Cool. But oh gosh, there we go. Try to think.
We'll be right back. We got to pay the bills real quick with one of our amazing sponsors, Baron of Dice. So give us 1 minute. Check it out, please. Make sure to support Baron of Dice. Everyone loves Baron of Dice and their dice, of course. Be right back. Now with a word from our sponsor, Baron of Dice. Baron of Dice is your one-stop shop for premium wargaming dice. Our dice are made with premium resin materials and colored dyes. Each die is hand-mixed to the desired result and then carefully swirled with 2, 3, or 4 colors in a silicone mold before being laser engraved with a wicked symbol and finished in a matte or gloss polish. There are no imperfections in our dice, no balancing issues, no micro bubbles or mold lines. This is the difference between. You can, quite literally, feel and hear a difference with our dice. Whatever game you play, whatever style your team or faction rocks, we're sure to have something to elevate your game. With over 500 styles and over 4,000 customer reviews, welcome to the best dice on the planet. Now back to our show. Thank you, everyone, for that. Make sure to go check out Baron of Dice. Fantastic merchandise, gifts, sponsorship, partnership. I mean, just all you think about it, just all about it, right? I know I deal with the individual all the time, every single year, which prompts me to let you know that we have the largest gaming convention in the state of Florida in the name of QuestCon Enter the Crucible. Enter the Crucible being the miniatures portion of the convention itself. It's around 3,000 people every single year in Orlando, Florida. And we'll have 3,000, 4,000 Baron of Dice swag that we give out to every single participant that comes along. We usually give them a handful. It's a great event. 7 rounds, 3 days. So you only got to do 2 rounds, 2 days, right? So you can relax, really enjoy Universal Studios, mic drop, Universal Studios, Disney World, things like that. Yeah, I was talking to you, Reigel.
Well, I know. I tried to save it, but I couldn't.
It's all right. You're good, brother. So come out, join us September 19th to September 21st. For those of you who are looking to really up your game and come to a convention, a big super major, right? We usually have, last year I think it was like 120, 30 participants. We're looking to get up to 150 participants. So hopefully we see you and you come out and grab your Baron of Dice. Nice swag, t-shirts, things like that. Go check out my websites in the link, and you'll find all the information there for any of the events that I have in the future. So back to the program. My bad, brother. I went on a soliloquy over there, but I do want to go ahead.
I would highly encourage everyone to go. I've gone. It is fantastic. The people are great. The convention is awesome. The venue is fantastic. And so it's just a good time all around. It's good 40K, good people. Yeah, it's great swag, both at the con and even the event itself. You know, there's not just Baron of Dice. There's lots of Warhammer vendors. I believe, I don't want to speak. I'm not a part of it. But last year there was an army painter stuff for hobbying. So just all kinds of ways to interact and just enjoy the hobby in the community.
It's a convention. It's a family convention. It has everything. It has LARPing. It has RPG. It has board games. Like after you're done playing 40K that day, you can decide to go with your family to Universal Studios, literally right across the street. And I mean right across the street from the hotel, or play some board games. I know they always have things like Hero Quest campaigns at night, right?
Star Wars.
Pick up product for Star Wars Legion, Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, Battletech, whatever it might be. I mean, t-shirt swag. It is crazy. Bananas. Tons of things for you to do there.
Yeah, no, it's great.
And you'll see me there, of course. I'll be there. And then you'll see Reigel, of course, as well.
I will also be there. I was just coming over the player packet myself today. I got the notification. I'm like, that's basically what I spent my lunch at work doing, was going through that. But yeah, no, back to the...
I can't wait. I had 2 meetings today, but back to the program.
My partner or girlfriend, she has not stopped hearing me about it because I'm dragging her to it. Last year she couldn't make it. This year I'm like, you're coming. So I'm even dragging her into this mess. So, but she'll be okay. She's gonna enjoy the convention. She's a nerd too. But yeah, Anime wasn't gonna go because he didn't have the time off, but now he might just be sick that Friday.
Oh yeah. Yes, BattleTech, Mordenheim, Lord of the Rings, like all the niche within the niche, right? The box within the box within the box within the box.
I'll get him to come. Hey, last year there was a very nice young lady walking around dressed as a Sister Repentia, repenting for not honoring the Emperor enough.
Yes, she was.
Like LARPers. There's also some other people there LARPing. I think there was something like a demon cosplay.
Shout out to Logan. She killed it, by the way. She killed it.
Yes, she was
amazing.
Fantastic. The commissar was there walking around, dispatching heretics.
He killed it too. The commissar killed it too. Yep.
Bonus.
So yeah, you can come dressed up too. And there's a painting contest this year. Painting contest, dressing contest, a social as well. D&D, man, it's everything, dude.
It's very exciting. We're both very excited. So this will not be the last time you hear about it from me personally. I'm not paid to sponsor them. I'm just an excited fan.
He is not paid or sponsored.
I'm not even fed, honestly. That's not true. We did go get ice cream last time.
We did.
But no, back to the matter at hand. It's very easy to sit down and look at someone's profile. That the Forge Fiends is a great example. Yep. It is so close to an Exocrine. Exocrine is D6 plus 3, hits on 3s, heavy, blast, strength 9, AP 3, flat 3 damage. Forge Fiends are, if you take the three ectoplasma cannons, 3d3 blast, hitting on 4s, but 4 rerolls at the closest enemy target. So, and I believe theirs are 18 inches. Is that correct?
18 inches, yeah.
And the Exocrine is 36. So there's trade-offs.
The big complaint is CSM being 180 and then World Eaters being 150.
I will remind everyone immediately before you even get into that, CSM has packs. Or
and
if,
multiple other abilities on top of that to stack on top of that.
if it's not packs, you're taking them in Vashtor's attachment, which is a whole nother ball game of buffs.
Yep.
So, would you pay 30 more points for on-demand, sustained, or lethal?
Hell yeah.
On demand.
On demand, yes. Hell yes.
So, yeah, no, it's a worthwhile buff. Sure, you take 2, you're paying 60 more points, but both of them are more efficient. 4 out of the 5 times they're going to activate.
Yep.
And there's ways to give them better leadership or rerolls. So, like, probably 5 out of 5 if you're playing smart.
And CSM hits on 3s.
But they don't get full rerolls. So, again, hitting on 3s sustained versus hitting on 4s with full rerolls, it's about the same.
Marginally, yeah.
Yeah. But, again, it's a different thing. Trying to think. Kind of said my piece on it. Like I've personally had to go through this myself, comparing the fragility of Tyranids to Knights, or the lack of shooting the Tau, or the lack of melee to World Eaters, and kind of like, or the lack of mobility to Eldar, falling short in every category. But also realizing no one can do what the Tyranid army does. Like the Tyranid, specifically, my love, is wholly unique. Like the closest is Eldar, but Eldar don't have 30 Gene Stealers are throwing at you.
No.
They got the other 2 parts down, they just don't got that. Or like World Eaters. World Eaters can hit very hard in melee and now have credible shooting, like basically Exocrines.
Yep.
But I'd argue that they're not as fast as Tyranids are now. They don't have as much movement as they used to.
Correct.
So for every point I can find to be like, salty about, I try to also remind myself, what is the other opponent looking back at my side of the table and seeing? And another thing we haven't even gone over yet is shoot and scoot units. So many units in the game, fire and fade on the data sheet or a character ability or whatever, but none are as hated as the Gargoyle.
Yeah.
And by all rights, the Gargoyle is the worst of them. It's the most expensive, does the least amount of damage, and is the most fragile. But my God, do people hate those things?
Yep.
Because that one little number on the data sheet that says OC2, and the other number that says movement 12.
Movement 12. Yep.
Those 2 things. Almost every other one that I can think of is OC1, and comes in squads of 5 base, and you got to pay like 40% more than a Gargoyle squad to get to 10. So.
Yep. That's a great comparison, yeah. See, that's another one that we're talking about, right? People hate that ability, you having a better ability at a cheaper price point, but they don't understand you're way more fragile, right?
Yeah.
What is the rule again? Is it within 9 or within 12? They scoot.
Oh no, they're just shoot and scoot. They don't react to move. They shoot and then move flat 6.
Oh, they shoot and scoot. Got it.
And only in your shooting phase, so you can't overwatch and game it. But that's another good point. Reactive moves. Dominions do it for free. I believe it's Space Marine Scouts also do it for free. Eldar Rangers.
Yes.
But some of those are D6 or flat 6. Like Dominions are D6. I believe the Space Marine Scouts are flat 6 if they're in a certain doctrine or have a certain keyword.
I think
so
it's just D6.
Or like, again, Tyranids, the Vanguard reactive moves 2 things if you get within 9 or 1. You don't have to choose 2. But it's flat 6. So it's not for free. It's not on a data sheet, but it's a stratagem. And it's 2 CP. But it's not random, and I can do the 2 things.
See, but the problem with that comparison to everyone is that it's marginal to them, right? It's not game breaking. It's not lethal intent, right? It's not worth the cry. It's not something like I just said, lethal intent, right? Where someone does something crazy, or where blood letters just automatically show up after the last model has been removed, right? Like that's something that
I have a hot take about the fastball blood letters. It's crazy, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal.
Dude, there are 2 attacks, maybe 3 attacks if Scarbrand is there. But why do you have Scarbrand there?
Here, let me. You're about to play Demon Kid. Let me posit something at you. You're fighting Dark Angels, and they got their Inner Circle companions with the Judiciar right behind a wall with their 5 scouts that you just killed, and like your lieutenant with combi weapon that you're about to charge, and they're like, yeah, he's well within 4, and like if you charge, I'm gonna heroic and fight first your bloodletters.
Yep.
Are you gonna charge? Like, like, what are you gonna do? Or like Space Marine repulsors, you know, they have an eradicator squad. You're like, oh, the things, you know, killed whatever, and now they're within charge range of the eradicators. Okay, you declare a charge, we're gonna get back on our repulsor, and good luck killing the repulsor. You're gonna chip the pain, then we're gonna get out and kill you anyway. Like, we'll call it tactical doctrine, fall back, shoot and charge, and you're dead. So, and I don't think denying 5 primary. I think using it on your opponent's turn, on an objective where they killed something and they thought they'd take it, and you get it back for 5 primary is useful. But I don't think it's going to be this like big, because again, it's bloodletters. Like you said, they're 2 attacks, hitting on 3's base. If you're Death Guard, you're hitting on 4s, wounding on 5s. That's not where you want to be.
But that's not what's breaking them for them, right? It says within 9 inches. So then a unit dies over here. There's 2 objectives over here. You conga line to 2 objectives, and you're like, well, I guess I just get 15 points, right? I guess I just win the game.
Sure. Yeah, but if your opponent isn't like, I'm gonna put 5 OC on each, so 2 bloodletters on each one doesn't take it. Now you got to dedicate more one way than the other.
Sure, indeed. There's pros to this. I mean, there's cons to this pro. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's insane, but I don't think it's lethal intent.
No, I don't think it's groundbreaking either.
Also,
dropping some blood crushers or some berserkers, I'd be
Also, because like, I don't know, man. It's just, it's funny. It is certainly funny, but I'm really not that threatened by 10 bloodletters. Like, sure, you get 5 more primary. That sucks. I'm not happy about that. If you get 10, if you're in a position where you can do it and get 10, I've already lost the game. That's not why I lost. Because an Exocrine is 4 OC, for example. A lot of tanks are 3 OC, and a 5-man squad inside is at least 5 most of the time, sometimes more. Or here's an example for you: Grey Knights with the fight first character and a squad of Terminators.
Yeah,
that are all OC3. You're gonna charge them, or you're gonna stand 1.1 inches in front of them on their turn so they can shoot and charge you. Like,
you got to decide.
Now, I will say, for the other end, for those of you scratching your head wondering what the hell I'm even doing on this show, giving advice, if you're playing guard that have 10 catachans babysitting an objective, they're going to get wrecked. you just took that objective. Good job. You shot the Torox to death, or the Rhino. It's a Torox. Don't take Rhinos in guard. Torox are too cheap. You shot the Torox to death, and now you and they got out of it, and then you deployed your guys 1.1 away. By the way, we just made a video talking about how desperate emergency deprecation works. You should go watch it, because a lot of people don't know. That's from my experience as a player at event.
They can't watch it unless they're living in the future.
Hit me up with the lotto numbers. I'll give you half.
You mean they'll give you half?
No. Lottery's a trap for time travelers, so you gotta give it to someone who did travel. It has no temporal. Don't worry about it. You're not in the Illuminati. I'm in danger for sharing the information. Anyways.
Love it. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's those type of comparisons, right? Let's give another example. Bully boys and orcs have a stratagem that people complain about in droves. It's the one where if you do a desperate escape test, you just die. But it has no restrictions. If you are Core Lord of Skulls, you can be a Seraptic Construct, 40 wounds. You fall back and roll a 1, 2, and I believe it was a 3 circumstances. You just die. No restrictions, and people cried. They were just comparing it to theirs. Now, world leaders have one, right? But it has a restriction to only affect monsters and vehicles. But anything else that falls back, this is fine. So those are the things we talk about. The abilities, the rules, right? One does it for free. Like something, you fall back from an orc, you're just dead. If a vehicle or monster falls back from an 8-bound, exalted 8-bound, they're dead. But anything else, you're chilling. You're too small to die between their hulking arms.
Also, in context of the armies, one of those armies has dev wounds against infantry with the possibility of sustained hits. So maybe that infantry isn't what they're worried about, being alive to fall back. Just spitballing here, got my tinfoil hat on. But to your point, like that, one army is set to say, okay, we're not as good at killing these things, so because bully boys, specifically the mega knobs, are not great at hordes.
Yep. Like
even 10 things in front of them, unless it's the wall turn, is probably not getting through it. Because you got such low attack volume.
Yep.
But you start falling back and you lose 3 or 4 guys out of a 10-man squad. Well, now So, I've taken 2 desperate escapes in my lifetime with Tyranids, and both times I lost every unit and every model in the unit, and they were not 1 model units. One was a 2-man and one was a 3-man. I just stared at my dice and I'm like, cool. That's what this feels like.
It's situational too, right? It's super situational. It's like battle shock. That's why Tyranids have battle shock all over the place, because if you only had it in one place, it'd become utterly useless, right?
You mean like
useless. Yes, exactly. Exactly like that model, right? Or, having heroic intervention for your entire army, but you can only heroically intervene once in the fight phase, right? It's just utterly useless. It's like, it'd be crack if you could use it in the fight phase for everything, but nah, it's just one.
Yeah, and that's like a lot of people look at my army as the Battle Shock army. It's only that because there are, like you said, so many layers. Chaos Knights are technically like the second Battle Shock army. They just don't have a lot to benefit off of it, or really pressure it on.
Yeah. No, they don't. And hopefully they get more in the future, right? And speaking of which, Anime was talking about the new Knights dropping. So I know you're not elated, right? But I mean, just seeing the Knights coming out with a new model that has an additional gun is just gonna be crazy.
I like that it's a conversion beamer, but also has like a shielding aura, implying it wants to be like with the action. But conversion beamers traditionally want to be further away as possible. So I'm excited to see how this clash of things ends up actually playing. But to Nick's point here, Legion of Excess, they did not have Shadow in the Warp. They had a better multi-use Shadow in the Warp, because every Greater Demon or your shadows you put up the Shadows of Chaos in the battlefield gave your opponents -1 to leader or -1 leadership. So it was like having a Neuro Tyrant without 105 points, and for 1 CP you could just keep running this bitch on your opponent.
Yep.
And if they failed it, they weren't just battle shocked; they took D3 wounds. I was looking forward to using it, but the Nerf Hammer came, and it was. I do have another apples to oranges thing to talk about. I lied. Some armies, like unnamed space elves that live on craft worlds, for example, get nerfs by the inches, a little bit at a time, a little bit more. Other armies get the wrath of God himself in one foul swoop.
Thor just comes down and hammers the
Slanesh
shit out of it.
got the quadruple nerf of points, rules, detachment nerf, and models removed from the line. Like, it was insane.
They added a new one. They were like, we're taking data sheets out now.
And that was their first nerf. Do you remember what the Eldar first nerf was in the index? Not the game-wide change of dev wounds, the Eldar first nerf.
To the current edition?
And when it was Index Eldar. The very first Eldar nerf was you can't spend more than you can't spend more than 1 fate die on a single unit in the same phase.
Yes. Yeah, because everybody was taking Wraith Knights
All right.
It's just mortal wounds.
Exactly, Nick. Exactly. It was like warp fighters went up 10, but now since you can't like auto 20 dev wound your Wraith Knights, they go down 10.
Yeah.
Am I still salty about this? No, it happened. We lived with it. But like that's another thing. People look at what other armies get taken or how they get taken, and they look at theirs or an army they don't want to play against, and they're like, oh, like Ultramarines. Nick, you're a Space Marine player. I'm sure you've heard plenty about how cracked Ultramarines are. And quite frankly, they are a bit insane. Even within the Space Marine shell of playing, holy crap, are they insane.
Yep.
But if you're playing an army that is good at precision, you kneecap Ultramarines. Their whole, you kill Gilliman, kill Calgar, not easy. One is a 4-up Feel Pain, one of them can get up on a 2+.
Yeah.
But you do that, and the efficiency just gone. No more double oath, no more, like you're down to, just your captains for extra CP.
Chaos needs a sniper. A really good sniper like a Vindicare. That's what Chaos
I figured it
is.
out. Give update.
I know what it is. Land Raider with 8 last cannons. Just run it right up to him.
To be fair, it is 4 last cannons with rapid fire. So you do have to work to get it close enough to what you want to shoot.
Oh my gosh, yep.
Now, to stop being fair, just run it in Gore Track and put it through a wall.
You know what's really funny? Nobody caught this one. Mauler Fiend 6 melter shots within 3 inches.
Yep. Do you want to know why nobody caught it? Because if the Mauler Fiend is if the Mauler Fiend is already within 5.9 inches, you already lost the unit.
You already lost.
Those melter shots don't matter anymore.
But 6 melter shots within 3 inches is just crazy. It's just like, okay.
I think World Leader shooting is going to be supplementary and fine because -1 to hit just means everything's hitting on 5s. And
yes.
you played orcs. How good is a volley of shots that only hit on 5s?
With rerolls, really good.
And what's giving World Leaders rerolls? Just the Forge Fiend if it's the closest eligible.
Stat checks. Data sheets.
So yeah, and also let it be said, I believe Gortrak has a stratagem to give the vehicle assault, so that's hilarious.
I don't think so.
Okay, I thought it did.
Nah.
Ah, well, I lied.
Gortrak is really good though.
To be fair, the Codex isn't even released yet, so you guys can't blame me. You will, but you can't.
It's somewhere in the Reddit warp of 40K.
I looked at the things. I got the full review. I went and looked at the points in the back of the book, and then I'm like, I'm going to wait for the Minotaur and Field Manual and the actual books to be out. I know, dude, what is it with just World Leaders and Grey Knights players coming out of the woodworks? Like, this has nothing to do with the show. I am constantly amazed by the amount of these armies my friends play that I'm like, where, when, why?
Dedicated, man. Those are the hidden dedicated players of those factions, I guess. Grey Knights is like that too. A lot of people collect Grey Knights, and Grey Knights, going back on what you and Nick were talking about earlier, Grey Knights back in the days used to play every phase of the game when they had a psychic phase, right? So they were really good. And someone who likes adaptability and that challenge to play every phase of the game, they really like Grey Knights. Very flexible. I think I think Warpbane is an extension of what they used to be. It's like it's nothing in comparison, but it's close.
You know what's insane to me? Grey Knights actually have very good melee. Like, they have Custodes melee. Strength 7, AP 2, 2 damage, hitting on 2s. Yeah. Like,
2 saves, too.
It's really good. And
you can get a whole Grey Knights army that's just 2-up saves, 2+ saves. It's crazy.
I'm like, why are all these Grey Knight people telling me they're bad? This is like I beat them, but that's more because I have practice with my bugs more than most Grey Knight players do.
But Tyranids are good at the Grey Knights too.
Oh yeah, it's disgusting for them. They're like,
World
we're twice
Eater's
as hard to
gonna be
kill, and I'm
really
like, I
good.
have 3 times as many units, so let's do the math.
Demonkin is going to be real good into Grey Knights too.
And that's the other thing. I'm glad you brought that up. And we kind of segued. We're getting great at this, guys. There is a rock paper scissors factor to this game.
There is.
Because for as good as Tyranids are into Grey Knights, I am much better into Nemesis Dread Knight and Razorback Grey Knights than I am into 20 Terminators and 10 Paladins with Drago and 2 champions.
Yep.
Like 2 30 OC breaks where 2 of them ignore mods and 1 of them comes out with a 6-inch rerollable charge that has a 4-up funnel pen against my Dev Wound Gene Stealers is a lot harder than just like 6 T8 2-up 4-up 14 wound guys. So, even though it's a fine matchup, it gets significant. There's a scale even there. Or like Chaos Knights and Imperial Knights. Chaos Knights are actually easier despite having better stats and more mobility. Entirely off the back of no Canis Rex and no Feel No Pain.
Yep.
Like those 2 things, even though there's more bodies, more OC, same durability, except the Feel No Pain part, Canis himself is just a game changer, and that Feel No Pain is just like the damage I can just do to kill them. Now they're alive like 2 wounds.
Chaos Knights needs a Canis Rex version too.
Stop it. No. Canis Rex, cool as he is, needs to get the Yarrick treatment. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of Canis. I'm so tired of dealing with him.
He's good, man. He's all right, man. World Eaters love chewing him up.
I'm happy for you. Look at my happiness.
I know. I can see. It's noticeable.
I stopped killing him. Like after I realized how Sir Hector works when you kill Canis, I'm like, do what you want. I just wrote him off as like Mortarion, or like, yeah, cool. You're gonna do your thing. I'm gonna kill everything else around you.
Yep.
I just don't care.
Yep.
And that's what I do. I'm like, cool. He's like, I'm gonna come kill you. I'm like, there's nothing else on that objective. And then my opponents are like, shit. I'm gonna shoot you and hope I roll good. And I'm like, you do that, man.
So why is it you think, in your opinion, because I haven't heard your opinion on it. You heard my opinion. Everybody heard my opinion. Why do you think people compare 40K Armies?
How many viewers you want to lose? I think, and this is speaking from me personally, the depths of my soul, I think it's because we're all greedy and we have our biases. We want our thing to be the best. You want World Eaters and Harlequins to like stomp out. Anime. That is not a lie. Like that is not untrue. A good example of something Nick said is early, not even like mid 10th edition, Thousand Suns. Everybody hated Thousand Suns. Even the Thousand Suns players would be like, we know, but we're gonna do it. And yeah, it's because we want our thing to be the best. We want our thing to be that, to us, little bit better. But like, I haven't met a single 40K player who's also an experienced game dev. So like that little bit might not be a little bit.
Yeah.
That -1 to wound, that like, a big thing I hear a bunch of people say is, oh, Tal should just get rid of guiding and be +1 bliss skill across the board. Maybe, but like, just a 17% consistency increase across the board of a 2,000 point army is like, Breachers would hit on 2s then. Breachers hit on 3s right now. And if you're on rerolling 1s to wound and full reroll wounds if you're on an objective. I don't know if you want them hitting on 2s. I'm going to be real with you. That's terrifying. You put him in Kayun, bring him out turn 3, or give him the guy that gives him +1 attack with the enhancement that makes turn 2 Kayun for them. That's 30 attacks hitting on 2s, potentially rerolling 1s, and sustained 2 on, like, no, you don't want that.
No, I don't want that smoke.
Yep, I don't either. So yeah, I think it's, me. You want your models to do good. You put Mortarion on the battlefield, you want Mortarion to do Mortarion things.
Yeah.
You don't want to put Mortarion down and be like, all right, I'm sitting on my expansion for the next 4 turns and you're never going to take it. What a game. like Angron. A lot of people are varying levels of justified mad about Angron's new rules because they liked when Angron felt like Angron. Yes, of course
Yeah,
you
I
are.
bet.
Renee, thank you.
I bet. Yeah, I bet. Preachers yeah, I bet.
Another example is Sisters, right? Sisters got their nerfs, and we're like, oh, if we just had these two things back, and it's like, okay, calm down, calm down. You don't need stuff back. Let's see where you land first. Demon Prime Mector. Hey, Magnus still exists. Also, hot take, I think Fulgrim is fine, and I can't remember the name of it, but in the one where they get the points for buffs. Because if you just hold them back till turn 3 and you have like 3 to 4, God forbid all 5 buffs up already, he's just gonna blend your opponent's army at that point. Like
Fulgrim, he's the third best Primarch. You know who's the worst? Angron, Sagron.
I don't know. I'm gonna say something. In Berserker Warband, I don't know that Angron's all that bad.
And maybe a Vessels too. We'll see. But his price, he's bad because of his price.
Look, there's a certain value to just throwing a distraction card effects at your opponent and saying goodbye to that Land Raider or Knight. Now kill him, or I'm gonna do it again.
Yes, me too. I hope they make Magnus unplayable. No, you know what you do? You just replace Angron with Khorne Lord of Skulls, and you just Kool-Aid man the shit out of your opponent.
I'm waiting to see the triple Khorne Lord of Skulls Scarbrand combo in the Demonkin attachment.
Dude, that shit is bananas. It's crazy.
Just all.
Yeah. That's 15, 15, 15, 20, 18, 20. So you have 180 points left.
Demon Prince with an enhancement. Let's go.
You can't even get a Demon Prince. He's 200.
Nice. 3 units of Chaos Spawn. Let's go. you know what you're about.
You can't get that either. That's 160. Anyways, you know what you can get? 2 Bloodletters.
There you go. 2 Bloodletters. Keep you
just popping up from the Ethereum wherever.
But yeah, so I think people do it because they want their stuff to work, they want their stuff to be good, they want it and not even be, they want it to feel good, right? Because there's armies that have been good but didn't feel good to play. Like, yeah. I don't know, 18 indirect fire, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, Imperial Guard. It was great. No one felt good doing that. Yeah, no, I fully expect to see a triple Lord of Skulls, Scarbrand, 2x10 Bloodletters on a team, and just be like, oh, look, we're playing supply drop. Good luck.
Yep.
I'm just going to get my 50 primary and kill you.
It's crazy. You know, but dude, the amount of shots with rapid fire is nuts. Like a Scooby-Doo villain. Yes.
I wasn't even thinking about the shooting. I was just thinking about either flat 8 or flat 6 damage. Pick your poison.
And that's it across the board. It's either 8 or 6.
Oh, and don't worry, those Khorne Lord of Skulls, they're going to get sustained.
Yep.
Or pile in 6. You charge, tank shock, kill what was ever barely alive, and then pile in 6 to fight something else.
Oh, dude, you know what you do, right? You literally triangulate all 3 of them, and Scarbrand's just in the middle. Nobody could ever charge Scarbrand, and he just goes over gingerly to the side and charges whatever he wants. But nobody can ever charge him. You just protect him with 3 Khorne Lord of Skulls. Basically his bodyguard. Scarbrand is like Whitney Houston.
I have a very serious thing I've been contemplating, and that is with obviously Demonkin, Forge Fiend, Scarbrand, like World Eaters coming out, Death Guard coming out with all of their tanks and Mortarion, and then Knights coming out next. How many Eradicators and Fire Dragons do you think we're going to see hitting the table?
Probably 5 more. Probably another unit.
Oh, crap. I just did it too. Go ahead and say what you were going to say.
No, I wasn't going to say anything. Oh. I was just going to pop it up.
I was going to say, yes, that's why the Bloodletters are leaving the warp. From my understanding, demons go away from wherever Kaldor is.
Didn't Drago die to Logan Grimnar or something like that?
No. That was a different guy on the ship, killing them for protect. It was dumb. Look, I'm not even a Space Wolf fan, but that was dumb. Of all the reasons to make the Inquisition fight the Space Wolves, you picked like the worst one.
Yep.
Just call them heretics for using fell warp magic unsafely on Fenris, and then they'll just fight them over that. Declare Fenris a dry county. There you go. You got it.
You get a fight.
Exactly. I don't think picking
a
fight with
no water in their dog food. There's a fight.
dry kibble only.
Dry kibble only. There's a fight. I'm scrapping.
So yeah, I think I think it for a lot of people it comes from a good place, because like this is a hobby. We invest our money, our time, our effort, our livelihood in some cases, and it sucks when because let's say I instead of Tyranids was a lifelong Slaanesh player, and they just get kneecapped, like that. It's like, well, what am I? I have to get a new army. Like it's not that they're not even strong. It's they don't feel good to play.
Yeah.
So, or Votan, for example, before they got their detachment buff, where it was like you had to lose things to even get an army rule going. Or Space Wolves is a good example. Champions of Rust was awful before they gave you a free saga.
But you know what? And that's part of the design too. It really that's the shit that really sucks to me, is where you got to jump through hoops and then jump through another hoop to get what you want.
So what I hate, and this is not an apple to an orange, it's just an abomination of a design decision.
Yeah.
Stratagems that say, or once per use enhancements that are like, on a 3-up, do X.
Yes.
Why am I paying a stratagem or taking an enhancement slot for a chance that I might do nothing?
Yes, and paid for it. Potentially a high tax, too.
The only exception is a 1 CP fight on death on a 3-up, because I get it. That's usually got a multi-squad unit, and you're like, some value, but it's not just a fight for free.
Yeah.
Because the fight for free is the 2 CP automatic fight on death strats.
Yep.
Which both serve their purposes in the armies they're in.
Sometimes I think those, like you said, are abomination, because by design, they should know, like Space Marines could probably make any strat free, right? But other armies maybe not that likely.
Well, like for example, the Demonkin detachment, where it's like, oh, spend a strat and then like on a 4-up get D3 blood tithe points, and it's like, so on a 1, 2, or 3, I spend a strat to do nothing.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like, why would I ever use that strat? I'm just going to save my CP. Like even a CP reroll has more realistic value than that does.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Like,
it's rough.
Yeah, it's things that are actually impactful, like grenades. You can spend 1 CP on grenades and do 0 mortal wounds.
Yeah,
I've seen it. But you also could do 6 mortal wounds, which is like 2 Terminators, 3 Space Marines. Like it's 6 infantry, like 1 wound guys. So there's an upside, and normally you fall somewhere in the middle, like 2 to 5 usually. But yeah, it's just you get all of it, or you get none of it stratagem, but you still got to pay the CP. And another good point you have is the CP management. Like Ultramarines are at the one extreme, and things like Chaos Knights, they have no way to gain CP and no way to make a strat free.
Yep.
I did a 6 mortar wound grenade to Todd. Rude. Me personally, learning grenades in Genestealer Cold is so annoying. I'm like, I hate the strat so much. Now I'm gonna have to figure it out. I hate it
all the time.
Because the Reductus Saboteur has it, you can use it in conjunction with her landmine.
Oh my gosh.
So someone moves in within 9, or she's out behind a wall or something, and you do D3 plus 3 mortals, and then on your turn, you just move 1.1 inches within 8, and then throw a grenade for a new, average of 3 more. And it's like, cool, here's 8 mortal wounds before anything else happens.
Before I start smacking you up. Yep.
For those of you, that's two of the 3 Vol guns gone. Just dead. No reason. Wraith Lord, I believe it is, the smaller ones that people are taking now, they're like reroll ones to hit and wound. They're dead. Like it's just nasty. And I
So
feel
with all that, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'm done.
No, so with everything being said, right? Basically, play what you love, play what you enjoy playing with, but enjoy that for what it is, right? Look at it for those of you, right, who were playing World Leaders before or played a faction before and then it's completely changed. Look at it for what it is now. Don't look at it for what it was. It's hard, right? It's a challenge to look at things like that and not compare them and say, oh, why is this so different? Why did we lose advance in charge, army wide, blah, 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 right? I completely get it. It's happened to me twice. I played Harlequins and we lost advance in charge in there as well, right? That's another one I thought that we never needed to lose. Now they have a lot of reactive moves. They, as a faction, don't have what it takes to actually fight in 40K. I just think that the Void Weaver needs to have at least 4 shots instead of 2, right? I think the bikes need to do mortal wounds on 3s and have better efficiency to really combat vehicles. It's a lot of things, right? They could be changing that faction. But try your best not to compare these armies, right? You got to look at it in a vacuum. Look at it for what it is, how it's designed, and take it for the passion and the love that you have for that faction. Unfortunately, there's going to be some shortcomings, right? You're going to get the short end of the stick sometimes, maybe some unit that's similar to yours. It's just completely better, right? We might be in a future very soon where Blade Guard and Space Wolves variants, the head takers, which are Blade Guard variant, right? And they just become a better close combat unit because it's in a close combat army, right? And then it might be better, more shooty or more resilient in an Ultramarines army. You got to look at it for what it is. That way, you're not stressing yourself out. That way, you're playing the game and you're playing it comfortably. Also, it's really shitty to just hear people complain and after a game, after you've played somebody, and they tell you they don't give you credit for beating them in the game. They just complain about what your army has that they don't have, right? You're not giving credit to the individual that might have worked harder than you, right? And actually using and practicing with their faction. Someone who's actually out there. And you probably wouldn't be complaining if you've already encountered that before or tried that army out yourself, right? So
on that note,
cut it out, dead it, be happy, play 40K.
On that note, I actually have I was talking to a buddy of mine who went to an event recently, and your event, he's Knights won that event. Spoiler alert. Very good friend of mine, and he's a spectacular Knights player. I've played against him many times, and he gives me all the credit in the world. Great guy, but like he is a great player. Like I have to play my ass off against him, and he puts in the work. He plays more than I do. He has the opportunity with our lives and jobs and stuff, but my buddy was like, yeah, I wish, it's hard to see, another army I could be playing do this well in the army I'm playing not. And I'm like, yeah, but he's put way more work into his army than you have yours. Like, no, like and even now he went to your team event, not the team event you helped judge at, the ATC Florida a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And even there, he was telling me that like he did relatively well for himself, but that was largely in part to the games that we've played, where he's taken lessons I've taught him about reserving, maybe underpowered resources. Like a live armiger on 2 or 3 wounds is better than a dead armiger that stayed out to try to get 2 more melta shots. And a good I don't want to say masterclass. That's entirely too full of ego. But a good living example of this is the Slanesh video we did last year, where one of the main points I brought up was you have to accept the army you're bringing. To your point you were just making about, you have to accept, if you're playing demons, for example, like I have a buddy playing Khorne demons heavily right now, shooting just isn't a phase that realistically exists for you.
Yeah, indeed.
Thank you, Nick. Always a pleasure. I personally love and I'm always glad to be invited back. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, he's
but
awesome.
Yeah, no, it's you have to accept your army like Tau. You know, you have to accept, okay, melee is not my thing, but my strengths are my movement, my target priority, my ability to like overwhelmingly kill these one or two things. So, you know, find your passion, your joy, what it is your army can do.
Yep.
And lean into that, like lean into what you like. I personally like these new codexes, even the Death Guard and World Eaters ones. I love the Emperor's Children. I've said it on this show before, and I'll keep saying it. I think the Emperor's Children is probably the best balanced 10th edition codex they've made yet, where it has power, but it's almost holistically in the pilot's hands. There isn't really anything in there that is like just blowing your socks off with what it is itself.
Exactly. Yep.
And even those things that do, like there were Bringers of Flame players who had like a 30% win rate prior to any nerf. You know, there were people who played Mordaka. I played into Mordaka and crushed them with Tyranids. And it's because they just picked it up thinking the power would carry them and didn't do any of the practice themselves to kind of figure out the nuance. Even for obvious power armies and detachments, there's still nuance to the game of 40K.
Yep.
There is very little, I'm going to put 2,000 points on the table and you'll be dead by the end of turn 2 that exists anymore, which is good. We no one wants that. You don't want to be on the other end of setting up your army for a 3.5 hour round and 40 minutes in, you're done playing. So yeah, that was just piggybacking off of your points of, you know, do it for the love of the game. Do it, you know, for the love of your units. Like the last Crucible I went to, I took a Trigon, and a lot of people questioned me about it, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm playing down. This could absolutely be a better list. I could throw 2 more squads of gargoyles in here, and it'd be a way better list. But I love my Trigon. I still got best Tyranids at the event. I still, you know, made the top cut, top 16. Could have done better, but I did great with what I loved, and that's, you know, why I play 40K personally. Speaking of that, small brag, I got best Tyranids again at that very same ATC event. So, woohoo! This time it was with it was still with Vanguard, but it was 30 Gene Stealers sans the Trigon. So, but yeah, do it for the love of the game, and don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have, and you'll have a lot better results.
And we're gonna have an interview soon, very very soon, when this man is free. We're gonna do a whole Tyrannid talk about it as well, so don't forget.
Heck yeah, we love. I'm gonna convert so many people to the hive mind. Wait, no, that means Crucible is gonna be full of Tyrannid players. Guys, start playing Tyranids after September. Now, I would be absolutely honored if someone else got best Tyranids. Like, yeah, I want, you know, they're like, yeah, I listened to you and just, you know, kept playing it. And I love my bugs. Because last Crucible I played 7 matches. 3 of my 7 opponents gave up Tyranids because they didn't have power. And I doubled every single one of their scores. And Tyranid Codex 2.0. No. Nick, look, this is my turn. This is my salt, and I'm sorry for bringing it to this platform, but you did this. This is your fault. We're not Space Marines. We don't get 2.0 codexes. Banned in EU. Just can't take Tyranid. It's too powerful. But yeah, no, I think that if because that's my advice to all the people, and even when I talked to you, you know, on when we went to the Gateway Open, was screw what other people, what stats say is good. Play what you love, and even if it's bad right now, it'll be good later. It comes around.
People told me take all 8-bound, take Berserkers, take all this, right? Nobody was using the Khorne Lord of Skull. I put it in the list. I thought it would be great for teams, and voila, magic happened.
Yeah.
It worked amazing.
And even I was guilty of that. I was like, yeah, can you fit one more squad of spawn in? Can you take out one unit of this or one unit? Like, I was like, yeah, you did. But I wasn't the one piloting the army. It didn't matter.
Yeah. Twin Towers, man, when you have 2 tough-ass beasts like that, it's just hard. You know, it's just a challenge to deal with. But anyways,
you got to get a better name. You got to get a better name.
The new Twin Tower. Okay, Godzilla and King Kong. There you go. Godzilla, King Kong, whatever.
The Wonder Twins.
A Mecha Godzilla and Godzilla. Hey, speaking of which, a little tangent, right? And I'm just, I've watched it, never collected it, but Gundam is creating a tabletop game.
I know. Oh, believe me, I know. I have watched. I love Gundam. I love it for not just big robots, but I'm not gonna get started on here. This isn't a Gundam show, but
Yeah.
there's also a Halo Flashpoint game, and I'm like, just release the Flood. Just put the Flood in. I'm in. Like you got the Sahili, the Elites. You got the Spartans. They're introducing the Brutes. I'm like, just give me Flood, man. You put Flood in there, I'm in.
All the way in.
I don't got time for this, man. I'm building hold on. My favorite model in GSC, and it is a bear to build. It's like half of a Rock Rider. That's currently what's on my desk. I don't need more stuff to build.
You still need about 8 gene stealers you have to attach to it.
No, I need another Rock Grinder. I need 5 Achilles Ridge Runners, and I need 25 Acolyte Hybrids.
Oh my gosh. That's how I am, dude. Welcome to my world. I'm collecting demons right now.
I was so happy to be done with Tyranids. I built them, I painted them, I have
Never.
enough to run everything I want.
Never.
Oh god, there's new Raveners coming out too. Let's not forget that. That was revealed at Adepticon.
Yeah. Those are gorgeous. They're gorgeous looking.
I'm excited to see what the rules are.
Go for broke, man. Go for broke. New Space Wolves are dropping. I'm buying into all of that. So go for broke, man. I'm just gonna be in the corner, will do whatever for Warhammer 40K miniatures.
Here's one last bit of advice I have for the night for anyone still listening is don't compare apples to oranges. Just walk around with a sense of faction pride. I brag on Tyranids nonstop. They are not the best at anything, but man, they are so good at everything. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
See, look, anime needs more Riptides. Maybe there's something there to get some Space Wolves.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, we'll talk about that in the future. But yeah, man. Do what you do. Thank you everyone for participating as always. 40K is an excellent game at the end of the day. Just make it more fun for yourself and your opponent and cut down on the tiers.
Oh,
it's blood for the blood god, not tears for the blood, tears for the tear god.
It's a hobby, not a lifestyle, people.
Exactly.
But yeah, I hope everyone has a good night, and yeah, hope you enjoy the Tyranid content coming out because that's my baby, and I'll cry if you don't.
Woohoo! Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Give us some love as always, and don't forget Onslaught Gaming 40K, where victory is just a strategy away. Take care. Have a wonderful night. Take a wonderful day, whatever time you're watching this. Take care.
Night, everyone.
Peace.